Once I know where my bridge is going to be, and you will more than likely than not know where yours is, because I suspect you'll be installing this on a pre-made guitar, you want to find out where your screen is going to go. And I'm not too worried about the position based on the center line at the moment. I'm worried about the gap between the binding and the gap between the bridge and the surround. So I'm going to draw a line in here. If you're working on a guitar that is already made, you obviously don't want to draw lines, at least on the outside where you're not going to route. What I would suggest doing is getting some masking tape and putting a strip of masking tape, as long as the masking tape doesn't react with your particular finish. Be a bit wary of nitro, etc. Now, the initial cavity that we're going to be routing is to recess the screen. And it's only going to be, well, nominally 2 mil deep, but I would say closer to 1.7. And now I'm using my eyes. I can see the internal lines there, and I'm using my eyes to say, okay, fine, that is now centered. I've got my center line based on the center line on the guitar. And we can work that out properly. From there, it's just as easy to draw this cavity, and that cavity is going to be for the whole control system. That goes in there. So, on to pre-drilling. One of my favourite and most used tools is Jessica the bradel. Make certain we're in the right position, and then mark our 4 holes. Now, this hole. There we go. Now those will ensure that everything goes in the correct place. Force nippets are wonderful. They cut very cleanly as they go in, and because they've got that centered spur, I suppose, and it's not very deep, you can cut a nice wide hole in a guitar. The main trick with force nippets is to take it slow. And when you cut in the next hole, overlap the first one and it'll make the cut easier. Now I've set my depth stop to 22 millimeters. The minimum depth for this cavity, this is the central cavity, is 18 millimeters. To my mind, if you've got more space, use it. It will spread the glow of the LED further and I think look better. But you could fit it into an 18 mil cavity if necessary. Before we get routing, we have to locate the templates, obviously, and always pre-drill any hole that you're going to screw into in a guitar. Needless to say, precision is absolutely essential. Preparation, preparation, preparation. Get everything ready beforehand and you'll be sorted. Wrong way. If you're doing this, you obviously have experience with a router. If not, practice before you cut into your guitar. And make absolutely certain to clamp it down securely. I am a huge fan of Triton routers. This one isn't plugged in yet while I play around. So first things first, take your router and put it on the top. There you go. So my router bit is just touching the top, and I can now center, and then you can use depth stops, etc. to make sure that you don't go deeper than you want. Now, when I move over the cavity and go down, I can't go any deeper than that. Do not forget safety gear. Eye protection. This router's got a shield, etc. But yeah, don't trust anything. And we're musicians, we all are, ear defenders. Now I'm going to take this absolutely slow. I'm taking about a millimetre cut to start, and then we'll go from there. I've got a little bit over. And it's as easy as that. One pass, and we have a recess. So next stage is to remove this, put the smaller one on, and route out the central cavity. I've routed the not so deep cavity for the screen, obviously, and using a relatively small cutter. And while I'm demonstrating this and touching the cutter, I have unplugged the machine. Anyhow, now I need to put on a deeper cutter so that my collet isn't hitting the template. And another beautiful thing about the Triton router, that is now automatically locked in place. So anyway, I'm going to change this cutter over and drop my spanner, and then we can start, well, finish routing our cavity. So now, same thing as I did before, I need to work out the depth that I want to cut. So I've got this I've got to do some thinking here. Okay, that's my 0. Push that over, and that is set at 20 millimeters. So now my router is going to cut a 20 millimeter slot in between my template. At this point, safety goggles, and I mustn't forget to plug the machine in again. We're clear. We have power.